Eso es problema.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. We're going to have a debate about liberalism versus conservatism. I'm the moderator, Omar, and defending the liberalism we have.
I am Marco Aguilar, and I will be defending liberalism.
I am Edgar Galvez. I'm defending liberalism too.
I'm Marco Limón, and I'm also defending the liberalism.
And defending the conservatism we have.
Jesús, Mathus, and I'm defending conservatism.
I'm Hugo, and I'm defending conservatism.
Hi, I'm Heinz, and I'm defending conservatism.
Josel Mercado, and I'm defending conservatism.
Okay, let's start with the first question. What do you think of both movements in the past? Who wants to talk first?
I'd like to start.
I would like to go first.
Mark, go first. Talk.
Yes. Now, liberalism has been the dominant political philosophy in the West for more than 200 years, and it has allowed us as a society to advance and revolutionize into a new era. Liberalism is a worldview based on liberty and equality of opportunity. Liberals value free trade, open competition, and freedom of expression. Thank you.
Okay, now Josel talk about the conservatism in the past.
Okay, so conservatism has been a very old way of thinking because it does this to conserve power. It has been since always.
Can you talk a little bit louder, please? Between the voices.
Oh, sorry, it might be the microphone.
Okay, continue. Okay, so that's all. You don't want to talk about this question? Can we move on to the second one? Okay. Second question. Do you think that the movement has evolved in a good way?
I'd like to
Can you
talk.
repeat the question, please?
Christopher?
Yes. I think conservatism has been transforming in the last couple of years because of the ramification it has. Even if all of them have different aspects and ways of working, they all, even if their purpose is to keep the things the way they were, we are still managing to complete different aspects they didn't have in the past.
Okay, someone from the other side, please.
Me, I think that liberalism has been evolving throughout the years, and with this, I can tell that it has been founded the freedom and the liberty that the people want, or that they also need. That's all.
Okay, so starting with the debate in the refute, the third question. Is conservatism necessary in society? I want to hear first opinion from the side of conservatism.
I want to talk.
Yes?
I think that conservatism is something necessary for our cultures because into that the traditions and costumbres they keep alive, and we can we can use it and distinguish ourselves from other people.
I think. Oh, may I talk?
Yeah, you can refute.
I think conservatism is not necessary because the world is changing all the time. We gotta have new rules, new kind of thinking in people. I think it's
You
not
can talk in
necessary.
Spanish if you want to.
Oh, thank you. Pienso que ser conservador no es necesario, no era necesario ni antes ni ahora, porque la gente cambia, el tipo de pensamiento cambia, todo cambia y no tenemos por qué estar pensando en el pasado, más bien es aprender del pasado para hacer un mejor futuro. Por eso creo que no es necesario.
Anybody from the conservatism has a different opinion from that?
Well, if I may, just as Heinz said, the good thing about conservatism is just that it preserves what we already have. And while it is important to look to the future and try to see if there is something that can be improved, we sometimes forget completely our past. And that has happened many times, even nowadays, especially with the native people from here from Mexico, native survivors. They have been left behind more than once because we are looking way too much on the future. That's it.
May I respond to that?
Yeah.
Liberalism aims to include everybody equally, not just leave out some people that because they have a different culture or different beliefs. It unionizes people in a way that no other type of political philosophy has been able to before.
Okay, so let's move on to the different question that I want to hear the opinion from the other participants that are having thoughts. And the last question is liberalism synonymous with advancement or evolution?
May I
May I
talk?
talk? Oh, first Mathus.
Yeah.
I think maybe, but not necessarily, because one thing is making a change, and another thing is making an advancement. Because maybe because they think they have so much freedom, they will make sometimes decisions that might or might not make a good impact, and sometimes it's not necessarily good to do so.
So you're saying that not all changes are good. To make
It
good
depends on
change
the
is
context.
necessary and advanced.
Yeah, it depends on the context.
Okay, Marco?
Yes, it's, well, which Marco?
Alejandro.
Okay. Well, I think that as Mathus said, not always it's making a change, but everything begins making a change in the way of think or the way you act. You can keep some ideologies that you can't keep that ideologies, because if you keep thinking in the past or in the way that the past is used to be or was used to be, you cannot think about how to make a best place from the tomorrow or from the new generations or new people that are coming to the world. So it's not always the best option, but it's a change. It's something that you are trying to do to make a better place.
I want to hear the opinion from Hugo. Hugo, do you have something to say?
I'm going to speak in Spanish. El conservadurismo no está en contra del cambio. Al menos el conservadurismo que yo encontré no está en contra del cambio. Está a favor de que las cosas cambien, pero de que las cosas buenas se queden. Que el cambio sea en base de la experiencia que ya hemos visto en el pasado, y que inicie desde abajo, desde que no se imponga una ley a la fuerza, que el pueblo no vaya a querer y que no le vaya a hacer bien.
So, you're saying that conservatism is agreeing with changes, but keeping the already established bases because they're good, and we need to keep the good things, not changing it.
Yes, because
Okay.
porque las cosas buenas son fáciles de destruir, pero tardan mucho tiempo en crearse. En las investigaciones, como por ejemplo las vacunas, tardan meses, años en crearse y pues se pueden tirar a la basura muy fácilmente.
Okay, so I'm talking from the liberalism side. Is anyone from that side saying that there are changes that are not good? There exist bad changes?
I think, in general, people that is conservative used to be like really. I'm gonna speak in Spanish. La gente que es conservadora suele tener ideas muy ambiguas sobre los cambios y no se abre a lo que realmente necesita la comunidad. Estamos centrados en lo que a corto plazo, pero el liberalismo está basado a lo que todo se puede hacer a largo plazo aprendiendo del pasado. Eso es lo que quería llegar.
Does anyone want to refute that?
Now, to what Hugo said earlier, everybody likes the idea of if it isn't broken, why change it? Why fix it? But if we never make change, or if we try to keep the old things, then it might not be compatible with all the new changes as a society we are trying to make. And that is why conservatism cannot work in a modern society.
Okay, so I want to hear the opinion from Heinz, and I want to ask him if you think that conservatism is afraid of changes because they're thinking that the things that are already established, they're all good.
So I think conservatism isn't afraid of changes, like Hugo said. Some changes can be good and accepted, but the thing with conservatism is not changing everything, and the good thing about it is that leaves you with the foundations for a good society, and not that it's modern, it's good or things like that.
You speak about making decisions for the future, but in conservatism, you have to, well, you're not making the decision. In liberalism, the people make the decision. Individuals make the decisions to make a better future, not just one rich guy or a very powerful politician like in conservatism.
El conservadurismo, bueno,
Mhm.
el conservadurismo no dice que solo una persona esté al poder, si bien el cambio de que varias personas, de que un gobierno pueda estar es mejor, si ese cambio es mejor, entonces que se haga de poco a poco, no que se implemente la idea de un solo golpe. Ese sentido.
Okay, so Marco is associating the conservatism to rich and powerful people, and Marco is also associating liberalism to ordinary and common people, and for freedom of thoughts. I want to ask Josel if you think that this is true, that just the powerful and rich people are agree with conservatism.
I guess that can be somewhat true because one of the main parts of conservatism, amongst everything, is to preserve power and richness. So for those who don't have much, it may or may not be useful to be conservative. And that would be only if you already have some power or some money. In that case, it would be useful. But to put an example, I'd like to talk this a little bit about Porfirio Diaz, uh, which he was actually a pretty well-known military person. Yeah, and he came to power, and yeah, he started a dictatorship, and it was 30 something years long and all that. But he, in that time, he made several changes that without them, Mexico wouldn't be the slightest part of what it is right now. So even if he didn't do it in the best way possible for everyone, the changes that he made were actually the ones that I can say helped the most Mexico. Because just taking account that the peso cost back then the same or almost the same as the dollar, talks a lot about that. That's it.
Okay, and the liberalists, I want to hear their opinion about why would the rich people want to keep conservatism? Why there aren't rich people that are agree with liberalism? What's the reason of that?
Because with liberalism, we talk about distributing the wealth. It's the building wealth for everybody, not just for certain people to take advantage of the people below them and to create wealth for themselves while the poor get poorer and the richer get richer. And this way, people do not have to live in horrible, horrible conditions that they live today because of poverty.
So rich people want to maintain their things, their buildings and all the stuff, their money, and they don't want to make the world for everyone. So they're being so is
Conservatism
um
allows them to do this kind of behavior.
yeah, exactly. I think I want to hear the opinion from mm, Christopher again, and if you think that this thing that Mark did fair, and if it isn't fair, then why there are people that keep saying that conservatism will be a good thing for the people?
I think Marco is making some not mistakes but some relations with another thing that maybe is not in this topic but more like in how do I say it? Communism,
You can talk
because
in Spanish if you want.
no, I can perfectly deal with this uh, because a lot of aspects that he just mentioned are when you hear them, they have context. You can clearly imagine communism, and in paper it sounds good, it sounds perfect, but as already been seen,
But
maybe
I wasn't speaking of communism.
No,
Communism is a
I
completely
Well,
different thing.
I
Communism just
think,
takes wealth from
yeah.
others and gives it to other people. Liberalism allows for wealth to be grown by yourself, to self-grown wealth. It allows you to make your own money, to build your life from scratch if you have to.
Well, I think kind of Christopher is saying that making the world is part of communism and socialism because they thought that giving all people the same will be a good thing. And he's saying that when people and countries put that on practice, it didn't work. So it's not always a good thing to make the world for everyone and make every person clean their each thing what they deserve. So in this case, equality is good. Talking about economy.
What do you mean?
So making each person have the same thing. For example, communism. Okay, so there's a person that has 8 cows and the other person doesn't have any cows. So I force the person that have 8 cows to give the other person four, and each person has have 4 cows. Is that a good thing or it is not fair on the person that has 8 cows? What do you think? I mean, this is a simple example, but it's a good way to see all of these economic movements, I think.
May I talk?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we are getting the wrong point that through this talk. It's not just taking away something to give it to someone else. It's an equality, not in things, in opportunities. In you have the freedom to choose your own way. It's to not be discriminated because of you are a man, a woman, your preferences, where are you from, your social, well, your place in the society that it's being designed. It's just to have an equality of opportunities based on what you can do or what you have done. That's when you receive the money that you deserve because of what you do, not taking away someone's work to give it to someone that does not work.
I think you are referring to equity.
Okay, so you think that nowadays this wouldn't be possible if we were still agree with conservatism? This is impossible nowadays.
I don't think it's impossible, but it's not the best way to do it or to make a change. It's like Marco said previously, not because something is still working is it will work forever. It's like if you have an old TV, it works, but it's not the same as if you bought a new TV. It's not the same. It works. It do his work. You use it to watch TV, but you cannot get the same results as with something new.
Okay. Heinz, do you think that the freedom of thought and opportunities could be possible in conservatism?
I'm going to talk in Spanish. Creo que se puede llegar a una libertad en oportunidades con el conservadurismo, ya que antes puede que no, porque yo tenía algunos conceptos mal, pero ahora siempre también el conservadurismo va evolucionando y va añadiendo nuevas cosas. Y yo creo que también se podría llegar a tener más oportunidades con un sistema conservadurista.
Mark?
Sorry, I was occupied. So Now I want to hear Gael and see if in the quality we live in a liberalist society and in a conservative society. What do you think is this movement nowadays?
Well, I think
Gael?
that nowadays it's like they are both working in different places. It's like here we work as liberalism, and then in that place they work as conservatism. So I think we cannot make like we can choose or say that uh, all or everywhere works the same or works being conservatism or liberalism. But well, I'm not pretty sure about here in Mexico. I think it's like conservative tourism as a general.
And to finish, I want to talk just, just about one more thing, and it's about the social movement in Mexico that appeared in this last year. The most popular is the feminism. What do you think about all this thing about feminism? Any feminism thoughts for liberalism, or you think that that's not liberalism? It's just a change, but not the best thing for all of us. Talking about a man.
If I may, I just wanted to say something quick. Um, it seems like liberalism, the ones that are talking about liberalism, have the wrong idea about what conservatism is. It seems like they're going towards extremists on an extremist side, not a conservative. They're not the same. An extremist side won't want any single change because that is going to stick to the extreme, while the conservative is trying to conserve mainly power and richness, but not just everything. It is open to change, it is subject to change. And I can link that to feminism, as Hugo said. Conservatism and feminism can be together, and they seem to actually are, because in modern society here now in Mexico, taking account also what was being said, it is not a fully conservative nor a fully liberative country. It is a blend between both of them. And you can see that mainly within the power of presidents and that kind of stuff. But in the same way, it has been open to more changes within how many women are working inside those spaces. I think that it was last year or the one before that one, they started to hire more women to be working in the Suprema Corte de Justicia, if I'm not wrong. So conservatism is not trying to keep women away from everything. As long as there's a good idea to place a person, it doesn't matter if it's a woman, man, or that person decides that it is something else. Conservatism will think about if it's a good idea or not. And it won't think about, oh, this is a woman, let's put her there. But if she has the capability to do what she's supposed to do, well, I don't care about that. Just put her there because she's a woman. No, that's not the way it will work, because what conservatism is trying to do is to keep power. And you put someone where that person shouldn't be, it will probably screw up and it won't do anything good. That's it.
Okay. And does anyone in the liberalism side think that conservatism could be part of the social movements that are part nowadays? Like feminism, for example?
that it was.
This conservatism could be part of this nowadays social movement, like feminism, like Josel said.
It could, but that's the key word, that it could. It isn't, but it isn't really at the moment. Because these are new ideas that to them are radical or extreme because it doesn't go well with what they want. They're not looking for new people to come into power, to a new generation, or to bring new change and changes in a way that they don't seem will be good for their land or their country. So no, I do not think they are very friendly with such movements as the feminist movement that you mentioned, or movements like it.
Okay, so just to finish, I want to hear your opinion about the other side. Just tell me, for example, if you're defending liberalism, what are your thoughts about the arguments of the conservatism side and the opposite? You understand?
¿Se puede
I
iniciar?
think,
Ah,
man, well,
First,
you
Gael.
can start, Hugo.
yo creo que la idea que tiene Marco acerca del conservatismo, del conservadurismo, está mal porque no acepta, porque él dijo que no aceptaba los cambios, cualquier tipo de cambio. Ese era un ejemplo de conservadurismo llevado al extremo y pues el actual conservadurismo sí acepta los cambios, pero cambios que se aseguren que estén buenos, que ya haya habido experimentación con ellos, con ellos.
Okay, Gael.
Yo pienso que fue una buena explicación del conservadurismo, lo que dijo Hugo, sobre que buscan lo mejor, quedarse con lo mejor y cambiar cosas, aunque yo pienso que eso no es literalmente la definición de conservadurismo, pero me pareció muy bien lo que dijo. Y pienso que eso sí es muy bueno.
So, could you be agree about what the other side said, or you think that that's wrong? You can accept those ideas.
I can accept good things about it, but not at all.
Okay.
Yo,
So,
no.
yeah.
Yo creo que la idea que no aceptaría del liberalismo es que si una persona tiene aptitud para gobernar, bueno, o si no, que no la tenga para gobernar, pero él quiere gobernar, si lo pones en una posición que no es apto, al final, pues le va a ir peor a la persona y no va a conseguir felicidad o lo que sea que busque.
Okay. So, I think that's all. The winner will be in the hands of the teacher, based on which side gave the best arguments, sustained on logical and reasoning. So that's all, and thanks for listening this debate.